folks, welcome back to Popcorn for Dinner. This is Jeff.
And Kelly.
This week we've been really busy, and I've been awake way too long, so we haven't had a lot of time to sit down and do anything podcast related. We haven't been able to sit down and do a new show. So this week we're going to give you something new to you, old to us. Back when we first started like playing around with podcasting and all that sort of stuff, we were sitting around with our friend Krysta, just sort of going with stuff, like whatever we sort of wanted to talk about. It was really more of a test than anything. But one of them happened to sort of work out serendipitously. Yeah, where we started talking about desert island movies, and the like 3 movies you would take with you if you were on a desert island. You couldn't watch movies anymore. And so, considering we didn't have a brand new show for this week, we figured may as well just take that thing, because it wasn't, it's not like we were gonna do anything with it, so to speak. So it was just gonna be sitting there collecting dust, and it's like, hell, might as well just put it out.
So now, hopefully, you can enjoy it.
Yeah. So this one,
I mean, you can listen to it. Just hopefully, you will enjoy it.
So this one is gonna be me, Kelly, and our first, I guess our first special guest, even though it happened before the show existed. So, but our first outsider in it is our good friend Krysta, who helps us out with this one.
She's a hoot.
So I hope you guys enjoy. We're just kind of going to drop you in, and then I doubt it has any sort of definitive ending. so I'm sure it'll just kind of peter out, and then we'll just end it. So I hope you guys enjoy this special edition of Popcorn for Dinner.
The Goodfellas is most definitely the first one I jumped to. I'm like, what movie could I watch 1,000,000 times and never get sick of? The Goodfellas.
I like how you overpronounced it at first. The Goodfellas.
The Goodfellas.
The Goodfellas.
I'm like, they're super nice. It's supposed to be like the wise guys is what they were. Yeah. It's funny because like I've watched The Goodfellas so many times, and fucking I guess I'm gonna keep overpronouncing it Goodfellas. So what's up? But what is it? But they said like, he's full of shit. That shit never fucking happened. Because it's one guy's interpretation. Oh yeah, I did this, and this led me down the wrong path. And it's like, no, fuck that asshole. He was a sneaky fuck. He ratted us out. Like he was the first person to sign over the waiver. Like fuck him.
Book should have been called Rat Fuck. That's what it should have been called.
Yeah, I know, right? I just, it's funny because like my mom was just so hell-bent against us watching that growing up because she's Italian and she doesn't want us getting that stigma of, you're Italian, you're in the mob.
This is what you're supposed to do.
Bing. So like, she hated that shit. She couldn't watch Sopranos, couldn't watch The Godfather, like my stepdad would let us watch it, but my mom hated it. She fucking hated it. And I never got that mob mentality or thought like I was ever gangster or thug, like, because I know I'm not.
You look too Irish.
Oh man, I'm more than sour cream.
Still doesn't matter because there is an Irish mob.
Yeah, but it's a totally different vibe.
They're very honest. They'll fight you, but then an hour later they'll be your best friend. It's the greatest mob. But like I remember,
if you survive the beating,
then
you're their buddy. So I guess that would be the answer. Number 1, Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. It's gonna be Goodfellas. The Goodfellas. So that would be
That'd be number 1.
Because I could start it at different points of the movie on TV or whatever.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's always Joe Pesci, and like that lineup just gets me every time.
Do you want to do your first one? I figured we'd do like 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3.
Yeah, I still gotta think.
It would have to be Moana, Desert Island. Of course, I'm bringing fucking Moana.
Like you're kind of almost taking it too literally. It's like a desert island movie. It's like, it's a movie and they're on a desert island. Like, no, that's not what.
But yeah.
So like, what is? Where's this based in? Like, is it Hawaii?
They're not specifically Hawaii, but like Pacific Islanders.
Okay.
And that's why The Rock being a big character. Like, sorry, Dwayne Johnson.
I was like, for seconds, I'm like, The Rock. I'm picturing this big old rock. I'm like,
no, The Rock.
The Rock.
Alcatraz.
Yeah, right.
No, but him being Samoan and
okay.
being a big character in the movie is pretty perfect. Oh my god, it's so adorable and like uplifting. Everything about it is positive, and the little
there's
like
no
side...
like crying because I feel like Disney likes to make me cry. Maybe that's why I backed away.
No, there was no crying.
Oh,
there was the like happy joy, like your heart is warm feeling.
Man, that Feelings. What was that Feelings movie? What was it called? Was
Inside
it
Out?
Feelings? There we go.
You know, what's that Feelings picture?
That movie, man. I watched so much of like the beginning, and I was like, oh, this is cute. And then I'm watching like, you know, and all of a sudden, you get to the one scene, and it's just so heartbreaking.
Take her to the moon for me.
Dude, always.
Yeah,
That
right,
always
dude.
makes me cry.
Right.
But are you talking about the scene where she ran away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah,
Dude,
that was
when I
pretty
seen
rough,
when I
too.
seen that, when I seen like the dude disappearing, I'm like, I have to call that therapist sooner than I thought. Like Catholic Charities, here I come.
Therapists made bank after that movie came out. They're like, oh my God, everybody is having an existential crisis.
Thank you,
I know.
Disney.
Yeah, we like to thank you again.
But that's not your choice.
That is not my choice.
more-
As great of a movie as Inside Out is.
Oh,
And I absolutely recommend that people watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Moana.
Okay, we gotta do your movie.
Yeah, my first, I can pretty much without any hesitation put Jurassic Park in one of my 3 movies. Just right off the bat. I don't have to think too hard about it.
I knew it.
Jurassic Park, straight up, dude. That's just it's too. The last time we sat down and watched it, like I you know, I've seen that movie 500 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally almost every time I'd be like sick home from school through like middle school or whatever, I would watch Jurassic Park because I got, you know, why not? What reason is there to not watch Jurassic Park? And the last time it had been a little while. I think the previous time I had seen it was when my brother and I went to that 3D re-release that they did in in like 2013, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Like the 20th anniversary or something. And that was fun. It was great watching it. But then, you know, I bought that nice Steelbook Blu-ray for it.
Is nice.
And it was like, oh, fuck, let's sit down and just watch Blu-ray, big old picture Jurassic Park again. And I was just in awe. Like every single moment in that movie.
So
It's like, it
good.
looks so good. It doesn't feel dated at all, to me at least. Like fashion, whatever. But just as a movie,
Yeah.
like
No,
like
yeah.
you could shot for shot make that movie again in the modern time, and it would never feel like anything's different. It like
Maybe
defined blockbuster movie making.
update the computers a little bit.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah.
The security system of going through with it.
It's a Unix system. I know this. But yeah, that it's so perfect. It's so thrilling. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the performances in it are just they're classics. Jeff Goldblum. I could watch Jeff Goldblum all day.
Yeah.
Especially in that role specifically.
I'm still trying to figure out where we're gonna plug this fucking TV in and where we're getting the DVD player. 'Cause I just imagine being on a desert island and it's like, you know, the question like, what would you bring with you?
You have a solar charged
Let's just say there's a
portable
hut
DVD
there already.
player.
It's that it's the natives are there. Okay, the natives got some technology
Natives
going.
and their DVD players.
They probably got better DVD players than I do.
They're like, you guys don't have 4K?
Yeah, right. So we're just doing individual movies. Like we can't be like, I want to group the.
Nah, no groups, no
No.
series. You just get the three DVD boxes sitting in front of you.
Not box
With the-
sets.
It's funny because the first one I know every time, but it's like the second one. It's like I always jump to The Sandlot because I do like that movie.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
That is a great movie.
I
watched
hate that
a lot.
Yeah.
As a kid.
I hate that everywhere I go. Like it's like a weird double-sided sword with me. I love that people know my references, but I hate that I'm walking somewhere and they got a cool fucking shirt from The Sandlot and I don't have it. So I'm like, I want that shirt.
Well, I mean, you gotta think about balancing out your list because you got Goodfellas, and Goodfellas is great, but Goodfellas isn't necessarily like a feel good kind of movie. You don't really get an uplifting sense at the end of it so much.
So
Not
maybe
so much,
Sandlot.
no.
Sandlot could balance it out. It'd be a
Yeah,
good second
Sandlot.
choice.
I guess
It is I mean, it's a classic.
Yeah, that's something. It is funny where they're on the was that the Tilt-A-Whirl and they're chewing.
Oh
tobacco
God,
for the
yeah,
first time.
with tequila playing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, dude, that is an all time scene.
You know what? I'm gonna scratch. I'm gonna scratch Sandlot.
Oh,
I want to put in. I think it's Pee-wee's Big Adventure where he
Goodness
loses his
gracious.
fucking bike. I love when he's talking to Dottie and she's like so in love with him. And he's like, "There's just things about me you couldn't understand that you shouldn't understand." It's like I love that line, and it's just so dark and like. Did Tim Burton direct that?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
He's the one to ask.
No, yeah.
I
I'm
was
pretty
never a
certain.
big fan of Pee-wee.
Yeah, I probably watched that movie like once or twice as a kid. It
But
never
it
really
gives you
stuck
a
with me.
Tim Burton.
But no,
feel.
I'm pretty sure it was Tim Burton. That's
I'd like to see that guy's house. I don't know why. I
Tim
just
Burton's
love
house?
to see like what. I bet you he lives like any
he lives
normal
in
Joe.
like he lives in like a fucking bungalow.
Yeah.
Like,
You wouldn't even know.
What? It's my
He's got
house.
a bunch of tchotchkes.
I'm not a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not at work.
I leave work at work. Okay.
Yeah. He's a totally different person. It's like he's always at church Sunday morning. It's like, wait, what? Tim Burton hasn't missed a day?
Okay. So we got. Wait, do we have two? Are you
got-
solid on?
I'm gonna.
You're solid on Pee
I'm
Wee.
keeping big Pee-wee because that one's pretty. It's a pretty. I could watch that quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But not my third one. I got a thing on that.
Yeah, that's the tricky part about two. When you're doing one, you feel you get you fucking you got that like you got that like big dick energy where you're just
Yeah.
like I can pick whatever movie I want.
Yeah.
And then when two rolls up, you're like I can. Oh man, I only have two left.
There's just so many movies out there. And what's-
Exactly.
and
You're
what-
gonna forget something, and you're gonna rue
I'm
your
gonna be
life on this
driving
desert
home.
island,
Oh man, I'm gonna.
and the natives are gonna be like, "You just use Netflix."
Yeah, right. Like, how did we get on this desert island? By the way, like, was this a boat trip we were on? Or
I
was
mean,
this,
Like Gilligan's Island.
Somebody left out of the like we were on the what is it like on the Chicago River and somehow
Somehow we wind up
Some-
on a desert island.
we went down
And
the
they floated out
Mississippi
to sea. You're like, what the fuck?
and we just don't realize how many hours would that be? That'd be quite a few hours.
No, yeah, that would be
We'd
forever.
have to be really
We'd have to be
ridiculous.
comatose for like 3 days to not realize what was happening.
Could you imagine that? That's like that. What is that? That Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh.
That movie. I watched that movie on like acid for 5 seconds.
That
And
movie
when-
watches you on it.
Yes. When I was freaking out because like the carpet's moving, and I'm like, what? And at first I thought it was cool because I'm all about magicalness. But then after a while I started getting dizzy, and I'm like, wait, everything's moving, not just in the TV. And that's when things got crazy.
The basis of the question itself doesn't really have any like logical sense to it because it's like, what 3 movies would you bring with if you were stuck on a desert island forever? And it's like, wait a minute, who's taking me here?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm not going voluntarily if I have to stay here for the rest of my life, but you're giving me the opportunity to pick 3 movies. Like, hurry up and pick the fucking movies off your wall.
Yeah.
Let's go. We're taking you to the island.
And
Like,
you gotta
oh,
own them
shit.
because we're not stopping at the store. Like, so if you're in the house and you realize you do not own, what is it, Goodfellas?
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, I let Kyle borrow Jurassic Park.
You gotta call back for it. I only got 2 hours, bro. Don't fuck me. Don't fuck me. I'm gonna be forever on an island.
meet us at the pier.
Yeah, right. You better fucking be there, dude. I don't care.
So that what would your number 2 then be, Kels?
I am pretty firm on Twister.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured.
God, I love that movie. It's oh my god, it's so good. It's like nonstop entertainment for me the whole time. I don't know what it is about that movie. But
It's fair. What's great about it is like it's wholesomeness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like it seems like action blockbusters, whatever. It's like they don't really hit that sort of sweet spot anymore. Where it's like
Yeah, there's
there's
this, like,
not really a bad guy.
I mean, ish.
Exactly, but you know, Cary Elwes, he's mostly just a jerk. He's not really
Jonas.
Yeah, but you know, it's
Bad
like
guy name.
yeah, but it's like the bad guy is, you know, fucking weather. So it's like everyone's kind of in a more positive vibe. There isn't like, and then someone got kidnapped by the bad guys, or like,
Yeah.
you know, and that's another thing too. Is like nowhere in the movie there's no like, and then there's that middle scene where fucking Philip Seymour Hoffman's character gets taken by the fucking tornado and killed and whatever. It's like that stuff never happened. It's not like a survive until the end kind of action movie. It's like
There's like a love story in there too.
Oh yeah, there's a great
big
little
time.
love story,
and that doesn't even end negatively. This his like. Aren't they like about to get married? Him and the other woman.
Yeah, they're engaged.
And she's literally just like, just go do your thing, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, nobody gets mad.
Don't worry about me. I know my way home.
Yeah, and it's like,
that's so sad though.
It is, but like she plays it so just like whatever. Like, it's
She
like, oh my god.
She realizes she can't compete with what he really loves, and he just.
Well, at least she's
she
smart
takes
enough
it
to-
really well, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's
she
not
does.
even a thing of
too
like,
well though.
yeah, right.
That's
It's
the
like
scary part.
she was planning it.
She like fucks up his car, and she's like, it was the twister, man. Like she
Tornado's
really
coming for you,
She
man.
keeps blaming like the twister. Like she does terrible shit to the house.
Keeps dropping subliminal hints to get him to go back to tornado chasing.
But like really like.
Oh man, it looks like a tornado came through this living room.
Yeah, right.
I think there's actually thinking of like you mentioning like there's no middle scene of someone being taken. Like I'm pretty sure there's only like 3 on-screen tornado deaths because there's her
in
dad
that movie or in like
in that movie.
In the movie,
in like
movie, not in the
tornado
real world.
history. Like really,
No.
that's the count. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
no, 'cause it's-
looking so bad.
It's her dad in that opening scene,
Yeah,
and then Jonas and
his driver.
driver at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I feel
There's
bad that I can't remember his name.
the freak out there, or there's the fake out with her aunt or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh my god, her house went
Aunt Meg.
down. Yeah, but she's okay, and she tells him to go fight the tornado.
Did you see my cows out front? No. Oh. That's the face she makes. It's the best. Aunt Meg, slaughter your own cow. Nice. I can repeat every line of that movie. I know it. Oh, it's so
Well, I
good.
mean, it's a good movie. You know what? I watched it the one time and I'm like, that's a good movie. And that was the end of that. I'm more of a TV person. Like I'm noticing that like the more I think on it, I keep going back to like TV shows. Like
I would like the first season of
like Family Guy, Futurama, American Dad, Simpsons easily.
You've hit your 3.
No, I'm
was
still
four.
going. I'm still going because I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do like
You're grabbing everything off your shelf. The guys are dragging you out of the room. I'm taking it all.
you don't know me. Don't tell me how to live my life. As they pull me out.
It's literally what we're doing. We're going to tell you how to live your life on this desert island.
I'll be like, can I just bring my phone?
I'll just watch YouTube forever.
And my charger, yeah. You got Wi-Fi on this deserted island, right?
Natives
like-
probably too.
What would your second movie be?
I thought about it a bit. I think it might be Scream. The first Scream.
That one's
movie.
okay because I was like, wait a minute, I'm leaning in.
you're waiting
Which
for the number.
Scream?
You're like, Scream. Like, is he done talking? Is he gonna put a fucking number after
I
that?
swear to God, if he puts 4,
No, that one was not one of my favorites.
that was what
I
they
like
should have
one-
stopped at 2.
I think they went in my opinion they went directly downhill by number.
Yeah.
1 was best, 2 was as close to 1 as you could get.
Yep.
3 was lesser, 4 was even less. That was just how it rolled for me. But
Every
that
time I
first
think
one
of,
is goddamn classic.
I think of that movie and I jump right to Scary Movie.
That almost like literally that pissed me off as a kid when that movie came out and people were like, "Oh, the silly ghost face." I was like, "That's a serious movie. That is a good movie. You need to respect it." Randy's rules scene, I could just have that on a DVD and that would count as my number 2. That whole sequence where he explains the slasher rules to everybody is such a that to me is like a definitive film moment. Or
Oh,
just like,
So
oh my
was
god.
slasher films like an 80s product or was that like a 70s more? Because I just feel like that was a big thing in the 80s,
The
early
first
90s.
the first ones, a lot of people say that Black Christmas was the first slasher movie. I think it was 75 or 76 or something like that. And then 78 was Halloween, and that basically jump started all of them. So it's like Halloween came out, and then Friday the 13th came out, and then the sequels to all those came out, and then Nightmare on Elm Street came out all through the 80s. So the 80s was when it was at its like full boom.
You know, I
It was
don't
like
care for
everyone's
that.
making a fucking slash movie. I don't really like
What
that.
is the?
I like Halloween. And then the
Jason?
80s, I could literally just forget about.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street, I do like the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Still
But
haven't seen the original.
for the most part, I'm just like, you can just keep all the other Friday the 13th
Oh
movies,
man,
all the
whole
Halloween
Jason
sequels.
thing, the Mike
I don't
Myers.
care.
It's like, I think the Mike Myers one is just like, I remember watching it as a kid, and they're like, "You're gonna be scared," and I'm like, "No, I'm not," and I wasn't. I was like super bored because if you're an adult, it builds up. You know,
It spooked me as a kid. It got me.
It did. I was bored as shit. I don't know if it was the music that was like bad. It was because the recording. It was a VHS, so you know you got what you got, and it's just the music was off, and it's like. Okay, any minute now it's gonna get scary. Like, oh, there he is. He's just walking, and she's running. She's running real fast, and there he is again. It's like they cut the scene.
My experience of it, I remember it very vividly. My uncle Rick, he lived like six to 8 blocks away from me. He had this big old room in the basement. He had this awesome furnished basement. He had this big room in the back with just like practically a video store's worth of VHS tapes and a big old TV in there.
That's awesome.
And he there was just like one day where he was just like, fuck it. And I was over there. He just like sat me down in the chair in that room, put Halloween on. I was probably like maybe like 10 years old, something like that, maybe even a little bit younger. He just like popped me down in the chair, put Halloween on, like left me in the dark room to watch Halloween.
Oh, jeez.
And then it was like, probably like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And he was like, all right, walk on home. Oh my God, that was the scariest walk of my entire childhood. I saw Michael Myers in every window, in everyone's backyard, that whole walk home. I was fucking piss scared. And it's one of those like horrible things where like, when they say, if you're afraid of the dark, you should have someone lock you in a dark room for a day. Like that sort of feels like what happened to me because I watched Halloween. It scared the daylights out of me. I was scared for like weeks. And then as I got older and as I grew up, I just gained such an appreciation for that movie where it's like, that one's up there. It almost makes a case to take the spot from Scream. But I think in terms of the rules. Like we were saying earlier,
it's something
it's
you
not
wanna
necessarily
watch.
it's not necessarily the movie that you appreciate the most. It's what will entertain you, and I think Scream entertains me more than Halloween. Halloween I love as a movie.
Yeah.
But Scream, I could sit there and watch it, and then when the end credits roll, I could just be like, just pop that right back to the front. But Halloween's something where I'd like, I kind of got to watch something else a little bit and kind of decompress from that because it's a little different. So we got one more for each.
After thinking, I'm like, we don't, my movie in. I got my funny movie in. So I don't want to do romantic movies because if I'm alone on an island, that's the last thing I want to do is watch romantic movies like Leap Year. I would have to choose a musical because I fucking love music. I feel
that's so fun. I did not know that about you.
Yeah.
Oh man, do I love music. Before you picked me up, I was listening to Chicago. I was like, that's the movie I would pick because I like all the songs in there.
That's a good one.
I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I want to do a musical because I love. It's ridiculous. I love them. I love watching Indian films because they break out into dance like, but and they just go at it. But it would be
Indian remake of The Departed has a fucking dance sequence in the middle of it.
Really?
Probably.
I love it. I feel like there's not enough musicals in this world.
I feel like there's not enough breaking into dance in the middle of movies these days.
I think that's why, that's what got people through the Depression was musicals. That's not even a lie.
I know,
it's true. In 1930s, because of the Depression, and people were actually facing really they're not eating and shit.
There was mass depression.
It was great. It was a Great Depression.
Man, that was one
But
great depression.
They loved musicals. So how did these movie theaters stay alive though? I mean, you're talking about or like theaters, however they used, or was it
I don't fucking know.
30s? I'm trying to think. Like that.
I mean, there were movies in the
radio was out
30s.
still, and yeah, there was movies.
There were movies in the 30s.
Yeah,
I
'cause
mean,
they had movies in the 20s, like late 20s. They did. So I want to I want to make one of those. Can we do that eventually
What?
one day? Do like a 1920s, like not even 2 minutes long, like 1920s, and then like we
like a
act out.
silent-
And
silent
it's
movie
a silent film,
with
and then there's the
cards.
clip in between, and it looks all corroded and like distorted, and it's like,
Hitchhikers?
Yeah, right. We did.
Yeah.
We did that.
oh, I love that. I love that.
Have
I
you
think-
seen
Yeah,
that? Sure.
wait,
Okay.
Christy, I
Yeah.
forgot. But I love like the whole bit,
That
like
whole
the,
vibe, that feel.
like they're talking for like 5 minutes, and then like you get this big old blob of words, and it's like, fuck, I didn't read the last. What did it say, Johnny? What did it say? That I would be that guy in the theater.
You know how there's plenty of modern day movie theater annoyances, where it's like people bringing kids to a movie that's inappropriate,
Yeah.
or just like
To a too late showing.
too late of a showing, like children crying because they're out of bed at like midnight to watch this dumb movie with their parents or whatever. It's like stupid shit like that is annoying. But you think way back then, where it's like, what were the movie theater annoyances back then? It's like I can only assume that it was like the loud asshole who read all the title cards out loud in the back of the theater.
Or the mom reading to her kids, because there's always
Yeah,
that
right.
one ma asshole that's like, "Zah, zah, 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 zah." But you know what? You hate them, but you like them.
he went down to the docks. Shut up, dude.
Says docs. God damn it, woman. Like,
I didn't finish reading that one. Oh my god.
somebody play that piano louder.
Could you drown him out? Fuck. You're solid on Chicago?
You know what? I got to do Chicago because there's like 4 numbers in there I want to do. Like, have you guys ever seen it?
Mm-hmm.
I love that song. Where'd you come from? Mississippi. And your parents very wealthy. I mean, I love the whole musical is like, even if I don't like watch it, I can put the TV on and do my shit, and I can wait for the music parts.
Yeah.
That's another great thing about musical.
Your 3 then wind up being Goodfellas,
Pee Wee Herman.
Pee-wee, and Chicago.
Chicago.
We go Chicago.
Those-
Nice.
Chicago.
Those are some.
That's a nice, diverse,
Yeah.
fun list.
Because you know what? There's going to be days where I just hate the world. Goodfellas. And then there's going to be days where I feel goofy. Pee Wee.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be every other day. Chicago.
Okay, so then let's recap. Kels,
Yeah, no pressure.
yours. Yeah.
No, right?
It is.
Oh,
that one's hard.
Sorry, what was
The first
what was
one's
the one?
Moana.
Moana.
Second one's Twister.
Twister. Okay, so we got.
So we got fun, lighthearted cartoon
Mm-hmm.
and wholesome thriller.
No.
Ish. Thriller-ish. I don't
Action.
even. Action, yeah.
Action drama.
Wholesome weather action.
Come see Twister for some wholesome weather action. I don't think that's what tornadoes are.
This is hard.
Yeah.
I don't.
All of a sudden now you're thinking about all the ones you didn't choose.
You
I know.
And you're like, oh
I
no.
know, but
And then you
but
only
And you're
remember
looking-
so many because it's only in one title keeps popping up in your head that you keep knowing.
I keep circling back to the crazies.
That's fairly new, right? Like within the last 5 years, it's fairly new to me.
I think it was 09.
Yeah.
Oh, and Krysta time that
Maybe,
counts as the
no,
last
I think it was
5
20. I
years.
think it was 2010 or 11 actually.
Okay.
Now that I think about it.
You're better at that than I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, the crazies.
Crazies.
It's
Why I mean looking at it as like a counterpoint to the other 2 movies where it's like, all right, so now you're gonna go harsher, you're gonna go a little more hardcore. What puts the crazies above like any of the other ones that you could possibly choose?
I think it's because deep down, I still really enjoy the wholesomeness in movies, and like obviously like there isn't a whole lot of wholesomeness in the crazies, but the deputy like sacrificing himself at the end to like
at the roadblock or whatever. Like he knows he's done
he
for.
knows that he's sick. Like he has realized it. He has that moment where
Yeah.
he knows that he's not right, And so
oh god, that I'm just remembering it now. It's so heartbreaking, like the way that doesn't he literally say those exact words?
Yeah.
Isn't he like I'm not right?
Yeah.
To the sheriff or whatever, like he knows he's got the sickness, he knows that he's done for and everything, and it's like, oh my god,
he doesn't give like a good speech, like the Crucible speech.
No,
it's my
name. He is not nearly as angry as John Proctor.
I love that. That's the best line ever. Sometimes when I'm really mad, I like to just quote that because it lets out so much anger. Like, you can take this, but you will not take my name.
No, it's a little more reserved than that, but yeah, I agree. That's a really
plus
good moment.
Timothy Oliphant, and there's some moments that like make you giggle, like when they're in the scene in the car wash, like something moved, like something was moving, like it's a car wash, everything's fucking moving. Oh,
yeah,
that was great.
That was a really good one. That's one of those movies where like there's all that backlash to remakes. Especially even when they're quality ones like Dawn of the Dead, the Dawn of the Dead remake that came out in 2004. It's like, yeah, Dawn of the Dead is a classic George Romero zombie movie, one of the first big zombie movies, after his original like Night of the Living Dead. It's like it is a horror genre classic, like touchstone, milestone kind of movie.
Right.
And people were just like, fucking how dare you remake that shit. And it was like, it was a good remake. That was a good movie. It was fun. It was action packed. There was nothing wrong with it.
It had
Ving Rhames. No, not Ving Rhames. God, no, yeah, it did. It did have Ving Rhames.
Was that the one with the? Oh my god, he plays Phil Dunphy.
Yes.
What is that actor's name?
Oh my god, from Modern Family, the goofy dad.
With the
Ty Burrell.
Yes,
Ty
Burrell.
He was in it playing that asshole who works at the like cell phone store or some shit like that. I don't remember.
Like kiosk or something.
Yeah, but no, yeah, and that was a really good movie. So it's like whatever. And The Crazies was a lesser known Romero movie from like the 70s, and it was like again same sort of deal. It's like I'm sure since it was much lower profile because The Crazies wasn't as popular or influential as Dawn of the Dead, but people were still kind of, I'm sure there were people who were like, you can't remake The Crazies. And it was like, these are perfectly serviceable and more than serviceable. Like they're fun and they're scary and they're tense and they're good movies. And people just outright don't want to watch them. It's just like, it's a bummer.
I can kind of understand growing up some of the movies that I was allowed to watch that weren't like Disney movies were like sci-fi movies, and so like War of the Worlds was a common one, and then when they remade it, like Tom Cruise,
yes, like Spielberg and Tom Cruise.
I haven't seen it still. I refused.
It was okay.
I was like, no, the original only. You can't.
Or the Day the Earth Stood Still. They remade it with Keanu Reeves.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah.
No, can't do.
I'm
can't do it.
I'm the opposite. If there's a movie that I really like that they remake, I will watch it out of spite sometimes, like just to be like, let's see how you fuck this up.
Rob Zombie's Halloween.
That one actually, that one threw me back for a loop. Like I sat there and I heard about it and I was like, Rob Zombie Halloween, I don't fucking know. And then the trailer came out and I was like, that actually looks kind of dope. Like, relatively dope from what I can tell. The first like 40 minutes of the movie, Michael Myers is a little kid, and I'm like, I don't care about this. None of this is important to me. What are you doing?
That's way too much time spent.
It's trying to like humanize him and show like he came from a fucked up family, and then that's why he's so whatever. It's like, no, dude, the whole point was that he was just an average kid that nobody knows why this happened.
Yeah,
that's why Michael Myers is scary to me.
Because something in him just snapped.
Yeah, nobody knows, and it's like you're trying to give him this backstory. So like I feel the same way that you do about those other movies, but I watch it so that I can get mad about it. Like you do the sensible thing of like, I'm just not going to interact with it at all, and I'm like, I'm gonna tear you into one movie.
So that's the Halloween.
This is a Rob Zombie one from like 2007 or something.
Not the one from 2018.
That one was cool.
That one was.
But sorry, I feel like I've already forgotten. What was 3? What was pick 3?
Pick three.
Pick
What
three
is
is
the
crazies. Right.
Crazies.
Okay.
Yes.
But we're solid on the crazies.
I am 100% solid on the crazies.
Okay.
That is
No takebacks.
no takebacks. I don't need
Moana,
to.
Twister, and the Crazies.
Yeah.
That's your pick.
Moana, Twister, and the crazies.
And you
That
gotta
is-
own them because they're not
that's-
letting you run to the star.
Do I own the crazies? No.
Yeah, right.
I don't own Moana yet. That is the only one.
Yeah, that's what you got to run out real quick
you're
before they
waiting
get
for
you.
your Reddit.
Yeah. Hopefully my Reddit Secret Santa gets it for me, and the package gets there before the guy's taking me to the deserted island.
So number 3, I've
let's
given a few
recap.
thoughts. Oh yeah, right.
We got to recap. We got to
recap.
So-
Yeah, so number 1 was Jurassic
Jurassic
Park,
Mhm.
which I'm absolutely still stand by. It's a fantastic movie. Scream was the second one.
The
Yep.
first one.
Yeah, the
You
first
got to
one.
specify these.
And I'm 100% behind that one as well. I love that movie to death. So then number 3. So what do we got? We got dinosaur action adventure movie with fucking John Williams score in the background.
Yeah.
And
Spielberg. Like, oh my God. And then with Scream, I mean, it's still technically a happy ending. You know, Sydney's alive, and
Yeah, then-
Dewey makes it, and Randy's okay. You know,
Yeah.
like it's a pretty good ending to that movie. So it's like, even though with all the death and destruction and horror, it at least leaves you on an okay
Yeah.
level. And I feel like that's definitely a trend I would want to continue if I was on a desert island.
Exactly.
Like I wouldn't want to be like, yeah, those movies feel pretty good, so I'm going to go with Hereditary. I want to destroy my fucking insides.
Is
every
it
time
good?
watch
I
it.
haven't seen
I
that.
loved
Oh my
it. I love it to
God.
death.
What
I
is
think
that movie
it's
about? Real quick, I just want to. I
No,
see it.
Hereditary essentially without giving, because there's so much to it that you really don't want to give anything away. But it's essentially it's a family, and the mother Annie, who's Toni Collette, who's fucking fantastic in it.
So
She was 1,000% robbed at the Oscars. I think she deserved to be Best Actress this year. Her performance.
Absolutely.
Who got the best actress?
Olivia Colman for The Favorite, who was really good, and she gave the most adorable Oscar speech that it's like I feel a little bad to be like, I want to take that from you. But in my head, I kind of do. I want to take it from her, and I want to give it to Toni Collette for that fucking performance in Hereditary.
I agree.
But essentially, it's like she's the mother of a family with a little girl and like a teenage son and her husband, and her mom dies, and she has like a really complicated history with her mom, and just sort of strange things begin to happen around her family in all the like horrible grief that they're going through about this. Again, like I said, I wouldn't want to pick something that makes you feel shitty like Hereditary,
Right.
because it's like, why? You're on a desert island forever. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna suck anyway. Don't pick something that's gonna make you feel bad or sad. So I was like, all right, so that one feels kind of good. That one's a little gruesome and feels pretty good. So the last one just has to be 1,000% feeling good, and that's Tommy Boy.
Oh my god!
Straight up Tommy
I know,
Boy.
Tommy.
I could
That
I could watch David Spade make fun of Chris Farley and vice versa all day.
I
That
love
is a
it.
solid
That
choice.
is the perfect trilogy to me.
I
Right?
want
That's-
I also would have accepted Almost Heroes.
I thought about that one, and I was like, as much as I love that movie and Matthew Perry's performance in it, I feel like I will be comforted more by the antics of Chris Farley
my
and David
God,
Spade
Almost Heroes.
That's
specifically.
fair.
I love
Like,
it. It
them
took me a hot
specifically.
second, but I love that.
That
fucking,
one's
when he's
fucking
telling
great.
them, he's like, "Okay, there are these things." He's like telling them what to expect. And
Oh,
Chris
God,
Farley's
yeah.
up there. He's like, he's
Rip a man's
yeah,
face off.
he's just gonna come from the sky. And they're just sitting there in horror.
Twice when I was fishing, Mr. Hunt, please.
I think you're scaring the men.
Oh,
Dude, but
that is also a classic
Food
movie. and
alone
that-
is worth the trip.
yeah. Like that is 100% a like hardcore contender.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was not like Tommy Boy above everything else. It was like there was a very close.
It was like
bar.
on deck.
Oh yeah. If Tommy Boy went down, if Tommy Boy got a bad knee injury and they had to put in the ringer, it would be Almost Heroes.
like now when we're on this desert island, are we like on the same desert island? Like, can I
Can we
borrow
trade
a movie?
movies? Yeah, right.
Like, what do you got?
Can we have movie nights?
Which
Is that-
we just no, we're just far enough apart that we can yell to each other, but there's sharks between us, so we can't get there. We get sharks everywhere, and I'm like, I shouldn't have picked Jaws.
Yeah, right.
Just scares me all the time.
Just for the irony of it, just so I could play it and watch the sharks
Dun, dun.
circle around.
Dun dun. Looking at him.
Didn't they say like sharks like don't eat humans on the regular? Like they
No,
usually
they don't.
like
And-
that's a big myth. Like
And
it's,
most sharks won't attack humans just in general.
Yeah.
Like
It's
like
usually
bull
an
sharks and
accident.
tiger sharks. Like, nah, that's fine as long as you don't piss them off.
It's like
They're
you
like
were-
bees.
It's like you were swimming like a bitch, so I thought you were one of those sea turtles. So it just went up for it. It was after hunting for how many years it's been alive. It thought you were a fucking what is it? What did they
A
eat?
seal.
Seal. They
How does
thought
that
were
make
a
you
sea-
feel about yourself?
You should. You need to get yourself. You need to take one long look in the mirror.
That shark thought you were a seal.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
Isn't there another movie with David Spade? And
There
Chris
is.
Farley?
There's a Black Sheep. Black Sheep. I would definitely put below Almost Heroes.
I feel like there's something missing.
It's not Tommy Boy.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
I feel like
there's,
they tried for a second Tommy Boy and it just wasn't.
Honestly, I think it's because they basically. It was like, why even name these characters anything different at this point? Because
Yeah.
they're playing just the exact same guys again, and it's like I almost would have wished we could have seen a little different dynamic from those two.
Yeah.
Where it's like instead of like, yep, and David Spade's the uptight, whiny guy, and then Chris Farley's the big dumb fun guy, and it's like, honestly, have
if
them
they
play,
reversed
yeah,
it?
exactly,
Yeah.
have them play it a little differently. The fact that it was exactly the same, it was like, it really is like Tommy Boy 2, but
man.
I could never put it above Almost Heroes just because that movie has so much else going on that's funny. Like it's not just Chris
man.
Farley that's funny. It's not just Matthew Perry that's
he's
funny.
hilarious.
It's like
The Frenchman. And
Exactly. Eugene Levy as the Frenchman is fucking hysterical. All the dude, Bidwell, who keeps getting shot all the time and dragged off by the bear. Like,
His ear torn off.
I don't know what's worse, the bear or my itchy nose. You scratch your nose, you're dead. That man. Now I have to stamp Tommy Boy definitively and stop reminiscing about Almost Heroes because I'm gonna change my fucking.
We're in the beginning where he's like, they're dragging him up to like be hung. Chris Farley's character, and he's like, ah, rah, and then he gets up to the woman, and she's like. And she spits on him, and she's like, "I hope you're boiled in oil, or the devil boiled you in oil."
I remember it so vividly. She just goes, "I hope Satan himself rips the flesh from your bones."
And he just casually turns to her, and he's like,
Good God, lady."
So 100% sticking with Tommy Boy.
100% Tommy Boy, and now I feel like I have to at least reminisce a tiny bit about it to justify its placement because Almost Heroes hits so many great notes right there.
Good.
It is
God,
fantastic
lady.
though, and you get
Yeah,
Chicago and
you get
that
Chicago,
movie.
you get Dan Aykroyd.
yes,
He's
doing a Chicago.
Zelensky. Truth is, I make car parts for the American working man because I'm a hell of a salesman and he doesn't know better. God, he's great in that movie. And I mean, Dennehy as his dad. What a perfect fucking casting for Chris Farley's movie dad.
Yeah.
Is Brian Dennehy.
Exactly.
That was dead on. And then Rob Lowe playing the bad guy, smarmy ass young Rob Lowe.
I love seeing him get his.
It's so wonderful. Like he gets it in Wayne's World, and then a few years later he gets it again in Tommy Boy, and it's so great. But he's fantastic in it too.
I love or when
That
he's
whole
out
ending
on the
bit
boat.
with the girl who works at the building who likes Tommy. Who man, I forget her name. The bummer, but yeah, she helps
She's
figure
hilarious.
I know where you live, and I've seen where you sleep.
And your mothers will cry when
They've
she's
seen what I've done to you.
And then she says, I really have no idea where they live. Like, I don't know
that's
what those
a
people say.
fantastic moment, especially the fact that he him doing it twice originally. Like he gets up and yells something, and then they keep making fun
But he's
of him.
like
So he
polite
gets up-
about it a little
Hey,
bit, like
Gilligan, did you eat the scab?
Not really. He's just they just know that he's a big lug who's not a threat
Because
to
you
them at
see
all.
the boat, you look.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
you
like-
know, like there's no wind, and they're just sitting there. They're not going anywhere. There's no.
So-
Oh
the lake
no,
again.
sorry. That's right. He does try to be cool about it at
yeah,
first.
like trying to impress her.
Need a little wind here. No, you need to drop a couple 100 pounds, blimp. That's your opinion. Oh God, that's right.
Oh,
You better pray to the god of skinny punks that this wind doesn't pick up. Pray to the god of skinny punks. What a great fucking line. David Spade's reactions to him is so much like
The car.
so important to their like chemistry and to that movie, especially when after he has that like freak out in the sales room where he just like loses his mind essentially and he's like burning things or whatever.
Didn't you destroy the car on the desk?
Yeah. And like at the next scene he's like, I can't believe he called me a psycho. And David Spade's like, did you see yourself in there? You are a psycho. Like, just no sugarcoating it, just totally digging into Tommy. That movie was on a bunch, like just on TV. And it was one of those movies where like if you went to the video store, it would just like jump out at you, especially if you watched Saturday Night Live. You'd be like, oh. So you'd watch it. Like it felt like it was a huge movie.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the like actual reality of it coming out, it was like it probably broke about even, and it was it was decently reviewed, but not people didn't love it.
Which is a shame.
It is, and it's like I know people always say it's like, oh, you know, the stuff that you loved as a kid, you know, that definitely you know, paints, you know, your judgment on stuff when you're an adult, where it's like you just like it because you liked it when you were a kid. Yeah. And it's like I can't agree with that in this case. It's just a good movie. It's about that time to hit the old dusty trail back to our desert island with our movies.
Yep.
Lady.
A lady.
What movies would you bring?
Something about dogs.